Again, thanks for this opportunity. My name is Illyasha Peete. People call me Illy, like the coffee. That's how people remember it. I don't drink coffee, but it is what it is, right? But I am the CEO and principal of Catalyze and Cultivate Consulting. And our goal, what we do, is nurture purpose-driven leaders through culture assessments. Learning experiences are customized, and we create workplaces that have equity, inclusion, and innovation woven into the center of it.
Today, our special guest, who I'm so excited about hearing about her latest book, Illy Peete. She is a leadership expert, and we have the opportunity to learn from her today. So welcome, Illy. Tell us more about yourself. Tell us more about your business and your expertise, and share more with us about this book that you just released 2 weeks ago.
Well, Ken, first, I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this podcast. It really means so much to me. And it's wonderful seeing people that look like me doing such marvelous work. So, again, thanks for this opportunity. My name is Illyasha Peete. People call me Illy, like the coffee. That's how people remember it. I don't drink coffee, but it is what it is, right? But I am the CEO and principal of Catalyze and Cultivate Consulting. And our goal, what we do, is nurture purpose-driven leaders through culture assessments. Learning experiences are customized, and we create workplaces that have equity, inclusion, and innovation woven into the center of it. My goal is not to think of leadership as a one-stop shop. It is different for each leader, each person, and each organization. And that's how I really lean into the leadership work that I do. My values of my company are based on belonging, inclusion, equity, diversity, access, and liberation. I call it Be Ideal. And every time you get me, you get those things that come with me. And it's interesting. We're in interesting times right now. And so leading with those values is where I stand and where I hope to always stand and remain. Whether they're written or not, it's going to be a part of what you get when you get me to support your leadership.
And I love how boldly you stand firm on your values despite the political climate, despite the changing of the times. I think a true trait of leadership is being able to be steadfast despite what is trending and what's constantly changing, what's cyclical. And it's admirable, it's respectable. And I think a lot of people, especially in this political climate, are regretting not standing firm on what it is that they said they believed in and what they stood for. And so I'm so excited for you, and I appreciate everything and all of the value that you're adding to the communities that you serve. Inclusion, diversity, we need it more now than ever. My goodness, we need it more now than ever. Tell us more about the book you just released a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And how we can find it, what we can learn from it. Share more with us about that.
So the name of the book, it's actually right here. It's Glass Ceilings, Fragile Grounds. And it speaks to the story of us from historically excluded populations, the global majority, people that are justice involved, people with disabilities, LGBTQIA community, refugees, immigrants. It really speaks to all of us that have been historically excluded and how we have shown up in leadership positions, and more importantly, how we need to show up from now forward to protect ourselves so that joy, rest, family, things that we love can also be centered and not just the work. I grew up believing that I was supposed to go in early, stay late, take on extra projects, and I'm still not moving forward, and I'm wondering why. And so this book talks about how to protect yourself, how to move forward, and how to know which positions aren't for you. I was a single mom growing up, or as my kids grew up, and sometimes there were positions that I had to take because I had to feed us. But it gives you a roadmap on how to move forward. And I think the thing that makes this book even more different than others, is that I speak to the organizational side too. So many times we hear you need to go and do learning, and you need to growth opportunities, and you need mentorship. Yeah. Organizations are built on systems that don't welcome us into the fold. And
Absolutely.
so part of the book talks about how organizations have to reshape and reform so that it welcomes us and gives us the power that we deserve once we get these leadership positions. So it's a how-to for people and for organizations alike. And it pushes
Absolutely.
and challenges you. It just will.
Yeah, it's a challenge that we need right now in the market. Even people that look like us who are in leadership, who are founders, who are CEOs, CFOs, who are trailblazers, entrepreneurs, they need a guide like this too, because we've been assimilated into a culture that excludes us so much so, even down to the law, the federal law. There,
Mm-hmm.
you can't deny it. It's historical. So much so that even within our own communities that we've started to exclude each other. We've started to see each other as not valuable or not good partnership or not the type of employees that we want to hire or not the type of people we want to highlight on a platform. And it's unfortunate that we've been assimilated into a culture like that. And I really believe that us as a people, we need to unlearn that. And this is a great start for that.
One of the things that I talk about in my book is ladder keeping.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, so many times we are the first, the few, the only. And we feel like if we don't open the doors for other people to come, if we open those doors, it will cost us our positions. And I'm here to say that is not the case. My father is no longer with us. And on his grave, it reads, "A champion for those in need." And that's what he did. And he had a very successful law practice and ran for a judgeship that had never had a Black person in that position before. We fought hard, we campaigned. He was the first person I ever voted for on a ballot, and he won, and he changed what is now the Chancery Court, a court that never had a Black person as a judge or really in the hallways. There weren't attorneys, there weren't secretaries, there weren't janitors, none of that. And now, as I look back, 95% of the people in the Chancery Court in the same place where he worked are Black. And so we have the power to change and shift if we step into how and when and where we're being called to. And we can't do this work by ourselves. We've got to bring others along with us. And sometimes they look like us, and sometimes they don't. And together, we can recreate and shift these systems that are traumatizing so many of us right now.
Yeah. Talking about the trauma, talking about that scarcity mindset that kicks in when people think that they can't be a hand up or a open door for another person. Those times when we are feeling the loneliness and the attacks and the exclusion, and we are needing these mechanics and these modalities and these methods to protect ourselves, it makes me think about self-care routines and mental health and wellness and physical wellness, because even just that negative energy, it has an effect on us mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I would love to know what self-care suggestions you would make, whether it be mind, body, or spirit, for those who want to navigate this space and take on the challenge of shifting the narrative.
I want to start by celebrating our Black women. We do so much more with less, and it costs us our health, mental and physical. It costs us in so many ways. And we have not learned the art of understanding what rest even is and why it's important. And the book really talks about that. And our job now and the younger generation is teaching us the importance of rest and how we're rejuvenated. I think of a quote from the book, another author talks about it, but she said, "I no longer serve from my cup. I only serve from my saucer."
Lisa Nichols.
Yes. And I'm
Yes,
like,
I love
that's
her.
it. That's it.
I
I'm like,
love that woman.
my goal now is to keep my cup full. And the way that I do that is through working out. I've always done that, but it's different now because I'm older, because I've had a knee replacement. So meditation, Pilates, walks in the park, hiking, those things bring me joy and they touch me in a way that shifts that feeling of not being enough or feeling like I need to do more for others. I'm starting to understand that I have to do more to keep my cup full so that I can be the champion, the friend, the mom, the team member that other people really need me to be. And so fitness is a one way. Another way, I'm very spiritual. So church, that's where I go to get my cup filled. I'm a member of the Chief Network, and being around powerful women that have your back and will support you. That has been an amazing honor and gift. Further, I engage in mentoring younger folks and older folks as a way of not only supporting their growth, but I've learned to realize that helps me support my growth too, and it helps me stay young. So all of those things are ways that I have started to make time for myself. And meditation, it's been tough for me. And it wasn't until my son had a very serious incident that I had to learn to meditate and quiet the noise and focus in on what I needed to heal. And so, I mean, there's several different ways, and you have to find out what works for you, and what works for you now might not work for you in the future, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As women, we're constantly growing, pivoting, shifting. Our needs change. We change. Our bodies change.
Yes.
I love that you practice a plethora of self-care, from your physical to, maintaining your physical health, your body health, having positive connections, a great network, a creative outlet to serve others.
I'm going to add to
And
that a little bit too, if you don't
yeah,
mind.
go ahead.
I'm learning that sacrifice does not work well with rest. It does not
Mm.
work well with expanding and growth. I'm to a point now where I want to work in community with people to get things done. I don't feel like I have to do it myself. We can go further, faster, long when we work together. So part of that rest is opening up the doors and welcoming others with me on this journey, if that makes any sense.
It makes a lot of sense, and it resonates with me very well, especially presently with some of the things that I'm working on. I was planning this endeavor that I'll speak about publicly soon, but I started to get overwhelmed kind of during the creative process. And I was kind of bouncing some ideas off of my sister, and she was helping me bring things together. But I sat and I thought and I said, I don't have to carry this load by myself. I'm feeling anxious because it's a lot of work to get this done. But if I divide the work up and I bring on experts from these particular niches in these particular areas, I can focus on specifically my niche, my expertise, what I've done for decades, and I have a smooth process. I can really put my creativity in it. I don't have to experience any burnout, and I can really enjoy connecting with my community. And I literally had that light bulb, and I'm always about community. I'm always about connecting, but sometimes lessons come full circle for us,
Yes.
in different moments. So it's like I had to have a reminder to say, wait, relax. There's no reason to be anxious. Pull people on board. The experts can handle it. That also speaks to us conquering the scarcity mindset, conquering the token mindset, if you know what I mean, and conquering the mindset that there is not enough room for everyone. You said a statement, global majority, earlier. I think we have the word minority so ingrained in our minds that we don't realize that's really limited to just that space where we are seen as a minority. When we venture outside of that and we look globally, we are the majority. And there's so much power in that. There's so much camaraderie in it. There's so much community, diverse community. And there's so many people and so many channels that have resources for us to be successful that we need to tap into.
I would agree. And it makes me think of, again, what I was taught growing up by my grandparents, by my parents, what the expectations were. I talk about in the book, my mom and dad were one of the first people, one of the first groups to graduate from Memphis State, or to attend Memphis State University as
Wow.
Black people. And they brought them in a room together and they told them, we don't want you here. We want you out, and we're going to do everything we can to get you out. That was what they told these young adults, grown people. And so they were forced to get A's in the classes so that they could get C's on their report cards. I mean, there's stories that go on after that, but we were taught to do and be more,
Yeah.
to fight harder, to do. And that is ingrained in us. And so we've got to rework and reimagine what success looks like and what
Yeah.
it looks like for us. So many times when we think about the glass ceilings, we get these positions, and it's usually when there's a problem, they've run out of money,
Yeah.
they've tried all the other folks and they can't figure it out.
Absolutely.
And then they bring us on. And then when they bring us on, if we don't succeed, that's the reason they say we shouldn't have been promoted in the first place. And that's a
Yeah, we
whole
become a
nother problem.
scapegoat for the whole issue. Like it's
Right. We didn't create the problem nor the system. And it's about them bringing us in last minute to save the day. And so many of us do the 90 hours to save the day and then don't even get the respect or the accolades after we do it, and we're under resourced. We don't have people to support us. We don't get the pay that we deserve. We don't get the power that comes with the position, or that's supposed to come with the position. So that scarcity mindset is deeply ingrained in us, and we've got to peel back that onion and recognize it and put a stop sign up when it starts to approach. People my age, or me, or people like me my age, we just put our heads down and work because that there's a different way.
Yeah, they have definitely showed us the range of creativity that they can tap into to generate revenue for businesses, independent and remote incomes, using apps and tools and so many different things. Like this AI powered business structure, it has totally blown my mind, and I'm excited to venture more into it. And I learned those things from younger generations of people because they aren't afraid to try new things and take risks and step outside of that comfort zone. And most of all, like you said, they are not afraid of rest. They're not afraid of saying, I would rather go without than be overworked and underpaid. And it's admirable. And I've learned so much as well from generations before me, generations that have come after me. And I think we have to take a little piece of each. We have to take a large portion of our foundational principles and those things that will sustain us and carry us into even further future generations. But we also can learn along the way with future generations and learn from their creativity, learn from their innovation, and learn from their ideas and not judge it. Because I sometimes people within my generation will say, oh, people 25 and under or 21 and under, they don't want to work. They don't want to do anything. They want to quit. They would just prefer to use their brains than use their physical bodies. That's really what it is. And having a younger sibling that's younger than 25 and I have conversations with her, sometimes the way that she would go about finding solutions is completely different than the way that I would. And so I have to be open-minded to really hear what it is that she's saying and not just immediately judge it, or say, well, you're just being lazy,
And I
That's
think
where I am.
leadership requires that we bring different folks to the table. And when we bring people that are older, younger, more experienced, more carefree,
Yeah.
more fearless, we can breed innovation. And that is, I believe that my parents, my grandparents, my ancestors before then, they taught us very significant lessons. As the young are teaching us lessons too. And I think, as you said, we've got to take all of those lessons together to push forward, to create progress, to overcome what we're finding ourselves all up in right now.
It's a socioeconomic conversation, but it's a woman conversation. It's a minority, conversation. And there's so many ways to navigate it. What are some, just like if you would give us one or two, it's totally up to you how many you want to share, but just some golden nuggets of wisdom as a leadership expert for myself, being a woman newly into entrepreneurship, the audience being predominantly women in business, leadership, and professionalism. What nuggets of advice would you leave us with that we can use just to find that confidence to continue to pursue our goals, to continue to evolve and grow as leaders?
What I would say is, yes, you can. My parents growing up, I remember dancing on my dad's toes, and my mom would be on one side, my dad would be on the other. And I would hear Nina Simone sing "To Be Young, Gifted, and Black." And those words give us power. And the things that we look at, the things that we read, the things that we are, the company that we keep, that becomes who we are. So look around you and see what's there and see if they're going to be part of that growth that you're looking for. The other thing I would ask you is, do you really know the type of leader that you are? Do you know my sister calls it your work love language? How do you like to receive messages? And are you willing to pivot your preferences to give the messages to or share the messages with people that are on your team in the way they want to bring it in? Are you tapped into the needs of your team? Are you listening to the team members that are closer to the work that's being done? Because they have hands on the community and they can guide you in a way, they can guide you from 1,000 foot as opposed to maybe a 40,000 foot if you're running an organization. So bringing the community, the people that are closer to the work, and every team member in as often as you can, because that information can be valuable and it can help you move up the ladder quicker. It can help you expand. It can help you grow. So, what I would leave you with is believe in yourself and be willing to ladder share.
The one common factor that keeps coming up is finding debt-free funding for the growth of our businesses so that we don't have to stress. So I'm a strategist. I'm a solutions person, and I love to see women in business winning. So I decided to compile a very organized and specific list of over $1 million in debt-free funding that specifically support women entrepreneurs. And I want to share that list with you. Not only am I going to make this debt-free funding list available to you, I'm putting together an event where I'm collaborating with grant writing experts who are going to walk you through step by step on the tips and tricks that they use to increase the likelihood that their clients get approved for this grant funding. But that's not it. I also am collaborating with artificial intelligence experts who partner and use AI to help them grant write more efficiently. It's so important that we share resources and that we tap into the resources that are available to us. But I want to cut out the guesswork, okay? I know what it feels like to have to grind the midnight oil, figure out where the funding is, send out the letters, connect with people, try to get sponsors, get denied after all of my hard work of spending weeks and weeks and weeks of writing letters and preparing applications and answering questions just to find out that I'm not going to be approved for the grant. And I don't want you all to experience that level of disappointment. So I've taken the guesswork out of it. I've partnered with the experts. We are going to actively grant write together. It's a 3-day challenge with an amazing lineup of experts who know what it takes to get approved for debt-free funding. I want you all to understand, as much as I would love to just give this away for free, I want you all to understand you will have to make a small investment in yourself so that I know that you are serious. Okay? It's going to take a small investment of your financial support into yourself, and it's going to take a small time investment of your time into yourself because we have to meet each other halfway. I'm bringing these brilliant experts together. We're all going to meet in one room, and we are going to do a 3-day grant writing challenge together. Okay. But not only are we going to do that, we're going to start each day off with motivation. We're going to get our bodies energetic Okay, we're going to share, support, we're going to connect, we're going to network. There's going to be hundreds of like-minded women in this room, and you're also going to get access to the replays. So after the three, I'm not just going to give you 3 days of grant writing and just then just leave you alone to your wits. No, we are going to hold each other's hand in community through this process, and you're going to be able to revisit this information. I'm going to send you the downloads, the replays, and I have a really special surprise. I don't want to give it all away right now.
Matter share, because together we're all stronger and we can make a bigger difference and have a lasting impact and leave this world a better place than we found it. We have an opportunity here. We have an opportunity. And for Black women specifically, that, for the past, since the election results, I really rested from the news and from all the information about the trauma that we experienced with the results. That's what I'm going to call it. And now my head is back up and I'm ready. But if you aren't ready, it's okay. There are other ways that you can do the rest, and maybe your resting is the resistance, and that's perfectly fine too. That's what I would leave people with.
Thank you for sharing it. I think it's powerful. It's empowering. It's something that we can apply to our personal development, to our leadership development. And it's something that we can just glean from in these times and take with us into as times shift. I just want to thank you for sharing your time today, for being a part of my endeavor, sharing the ladder with me. So thank you. And I want to ask you, how can we connect with you online, on social media? How can we get a copy of?
So the book is on Amazon.
Absolutely.
You can also go to my website, Catalyze and Cultivate Consulting. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn, Illyasha Peete, Peete, and any of those ways will be wonderful. And I look forward to hearing your feedback about the book. I look forward to hearing if you need coaching, customized learning experiences, or keynote speakers. I can do all of those and I enjoy it. And I look forward to being a part of your leadership journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited about connecting with you. I'm excited about learning more. I'm definitely going to go onto Amazon today, and I'm excited about what the future holds. I can't wait to connect with you again. Definitely let me know if there are any ways that I can support your endeavors. And again, I'm filled with gratitude. Thank you so much for supporting my endeavors, and you have a great evening.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.